Hello and welcome to The Absolute Sound. My name is Matt Kuykendall. In the ever-evolving landscape of digital audio conversion, PS Audio has once again demonstrated why it remains a resolute in the high-end audio community. The newly introduced StellarDAC, priced at $2,199, represents what Paul and his Boulder, Colorado team do best, delivering exceptional musical performance at a price that doesn't require mortgaging the family home. Now for some notes on my first impressions and build quality on this one. The unit's silver case conveys the kind of understated elegance that speaks to serious audiophiles rather than those seeking flashy aesthetics. The build quality has their, classic look, the finish quality is on point, and everything is well manufactured. It also has a reassuring and somewhat surprising heft to it compared to many of the other designs. And that could suggest substantial internal componentry, and more attention to detail in the construction. I'll get into where some of this weight is coming from a little bit further into the review. The front panel is refreshingly uncluttered, featuring only the essentials on this one. A power button, an input selector that also functions as menu navigation, and a clear OLED display that provides essential information without the visual distraction. A quick highlight that I want to point out, you can name the inputs on this one instead of just having, the standard coax, USB, etc. show up on the screen. It's a minor feature, but I always like to shout out some of the little quirks that add a little bit more to the platform. The remote control, while not groundbreaking, is very functional and well laid out, and it's even backlit, allowing for simple navigation through the unit's various filter options and settings. In addition to operating your StellarDAC, this remote functions with all the other Stellar products, and most functions will translate to their perfect waveline as well. Now into some of the design philosophy. At its heart, the StellarDAC employs a fully balanced Class A analog output stage, a design choice that immediately signals PS Audio's commitment to audio purity. The digital section is built around the ES9018 K2M DAC chip. PS Audio has wisely chosen to focus on implementation rather than simply throwing the latest chip at the problem. It's all too common to put, such an emphasis on the chip. The chips on these products are in all reality very affordable. It's the actual implementation that makes the difference in my personal opinion. A couple interesting points about this design, and also where some of that heft I was referring to comes from, is there's no capacitors in the output signal path. Instead, we have an oversized analog power supply, which gives that continued focus on pure sonic presentations. The other interesting point is the front panel PS logo button here, located in the upper left-hand corner of the unit. It's the ready or operational mode control for the StellarDAC. This control mode has two modes. It has ready mode and operational mode. Ready mode is the idle mode. It turns off the display and the outputs while keeping power on to the critical internal circuitry, including the power supply, capacitors, thermally sensitive semiconductors, and the integrated circuits. The operational mode turns the display and the outputs on. All you need to do is press the logo to activate the ready mode or to place the StellarDAC into operational mode. If you wish to conserve power further than this, you will need to use the switch on the rear, but keep in mind that that will remove all the current from all the sensitive components that the ready mode would already have you prepped for. The connectivity options are comprehensive and thoughtfully chosen. Two I2S inputs take center stage on this one, reflecting PS Audio's long-standing belief that this connection method represents the pinnacle of digital audio transfer. These are complemented by two coaxial inputs, one optical input, and an asynchronous USB connection. The inclusion of dual I2S inputs is particularly noteworthy, as it does allow for simultaneous connection of multiple high-end digital sources, such as PS Audio's own perfect wave transport or other capable components that you might have. The unit handles sample rates up to 384 kHz and supports DSD up to DSD-256 in native mode, with DSD Direct available from the I2S connection. PS Audio Audio's secret weapon, and perhaps the most significant technical feature of the StellarDAC, is PS Audio's proprietary digital lens technology. This isn't merely marketing speak. The digital lens represents a fundamental approach to jitter reduction and digital signal processing that has been refined over the years of development in PS Audio's higher-end products. At the DAC's heart is the industry-leading Sabre 32-bit Hyperstream digital to analog converter, as fed by PS Audio's own digital lens reclocking circuit. Once the incoming digital audio data has been accumulated and organized, the digital lens outputs near-perfect data without jitter for an amazingly clear and clean image. The digital lens works by completely reclocking the incoming digital signal, effectively isolating the DAC from the timing uncertainties introduced by source components and cables. This isn't simply another asynchronous USB implementation. This is a comprehensive solution to one of digital audio's most persistent problems. The result is a significant reduction in digital harshness and smearing that can plague lesser implementations. Auditioning the StellarDAC in a system comprising of two streamers to test various inputs, the Eversolo DMP-A10 and the Volumio Motivo, paired with an Audiolab 9000A integrated amplifier and PMC Prophecy 9 speakers, revealed the unit's true character. The first impression was one of remarkable natural balance. This is not a DAC that seeks to impress with hyper-detailed treble or, artificially enhanced bass. Instead, it presents music with a wholeness and coherence that draws the listener into a musical performance rather than, a focus on the equipment. The three available digital features provide minor but meaningful sonic variations without resorting to gimmickry. Filter 1 is fast roll-off linear phase. This is going to be the filter, it's very good high-frequency response. It's the default filter and the one that has the most analytical sound profile. I found this filter to be the best fit in my configuration, but this should be experimented with as your room and equipment may differ. The ability to switch between these filters on the remote control during the listening session was great for optimizing performance with different recordings and musical genres. It can be difficult to fine-tune filters if you need to get up, go to the unit, and then go through the menu system. The remote in this case lets you do it on the fly from your seating position. Filter 2 is slow roll-off linear phase. This is going to be the least sharp filter. It also outputs the least amount of ringing. Filter 3 is the fast roll-off minimum phase. It's what could be best described as the most musical filter. More extended high frequency than filter 2, but more ringing as well. Some may prefer this for 44.1 audio. Just sit back with some of the music that you're really familiar with and see what creates the desired sound within your system. Playing tracks from the album Nirvana MTV Unplugged in New York through the StellarDAC revealed the unit's exceptional ability to reproduce the intimate atmosphere of a smaller space. Kurt's vocals emerged with remarkable presence and three-dimensional imaging, while the subtle interplay between the bass and the drums was preserved with textbook timing and dynamics. I chose this somewhat different musical sample because it represents a lot of what I think the StellarDAC does best: raw music. I wanted to see how it captured the grit and, in general, the realness of the performance and the space. I do believe the DAC's Class A output stage contributes significantly to this performance, providing that kind of organic warmth and natural dynamics that solid-state components often struggle to achieve. Now switching to a very different and in some ways more complex material. This is Watch the World Burn, a Hans Zimmer creation from the movie The Dark Knight. The StellarDAC displays its ability to handle this large-scale orchestral works with grace and authority. The soundstage expanded well beyond the speakers, with individual instrument sections maintaining their distinct character while contributing to the overall musical presentation. The dynamic range was impressive, allowing the quiet passages to breathe, while delivering the full impact for the work's climatic moments. At $2,199, the StellarDAC competes in a crowded field that includes offerings from Cord, Denafrips, and other well-established manufacturers. However, PS Audio's approach differs distinctly from many of the competitors. Where others might emphasize raw specification numbers or novel DAC chip implementations, PS Audio has focused on musical coherence and natural presentation through the use of their digital lens and Class A balanced output stage. The StellarDAC doesn't attempt to wow listeners with exaggerated frequency responses or artificial enhancements. Instead, it presents music with the kind of balanced, organic character that introduces long-term listening rather than short-term demonstration. This logical approach may not appeal to those seeking the most analytically detailed presentation possible, but it will resonate strongly with listeners who prioritize musical engagement and refinement over analytical technical prowess. This is not the DAC for those seeking to extract every last detail from their digital sources, nor is it for listeners who prioritize specification sheets over musical enjoyment. Instead, the StellarDAC is for those who understand that the ultimate test of any audio component is whether it encourages you to listen to more music. A refreshing reminder that musicality and technical excellence need not be mutually exclusive. It earns a strong recommendation for audiophiles seeking natural, engaging digital reproduction at a reasonable price point. For The Absolute Sound, I'm Matt Kuykendall. Thank you for watching today. I encourage all of you to subscribe to the channel for a lot of great upcoming content. Take care. Later.